I can't figure out why Spotify is not working, so I guess I'll just unleash the desktop audio. Need that. Let's turn that down a bit. All right, fantastic. uh, that's not a thing. Okay. Oh, that's what I. Okay. That'll go away. All right. Let's see what we got here. Okay, looked like a good first text box cancellation. Yeah, you always want to hold A. Alright. This is on YouTube, so I can pretty much just skip around. Okay. So here you did a little bit of an anti-pump right there. So every time you're going down or right, you want to limit the amount of times that you want to limit the amount of times that you change directions, because even just like this little. So you kind of want to just do your down right and then switch to down when you get aligned here, because like even nudging off of the left side of that door there isn't terrible. There's actually a way that you can pixel boost yourself into the door and save a frame. So either get clean there, or you can bump off this, and that's fine. The thing is, every time you like do the little micro adjustment or whatever when you're going right or whatever, like you're losing time because you're resetting the walk cycle. So especially when you're going down and right, you want to limit the amount of times that you change directions. That's just like an evergreen thing. Okay. I mean, I fumble that all the time. I don't think that's like I don't think I need to tell you to not do all of those movements. Yeah. Went a little far to the right there, but might be shut up, Zelda. Yeah, all of that is fine. Uh, so what you want to do here is you want to hit this gap right here in the between these two torches, because that gives you a clean diagonal to get out of the room. Also, if this guard over here is hanging out over here and going like up and down. So this RNG is locked, but one of these guards here can do an up and down pattern. Going here will always dodge it, because you'll always go diagonal, and I mean, I could reset and try to find the RNG, but yeah, not only does this give a clean diagonal, but it's also 100% safe. You're always gonna dodge the guards. Yeah, I hope... I can't see your controller inputs, but the only reason to hug this wall here is if you're pumping. Okay? Otherwise, you kind of... If you're not pumping, you kind of just want to take this full diagonal here. Up to the middle of the carpet. But if you're pumping, you can pump along this wall and save a few frames. I would not recommend pumping, honestly, at 1-4x level. It doesn't matter that much. So just this clean diagonal is going to save you more time than trying to pump will. I didn't see this room. Okay, nothing wrong with that. You did eat the door a little bit, but that's fine. Alright, first trick. Okay, if that's consistent for you, that's fine. Optimally, you'll want to make more use of diagonals in that room, but you're losing maybe 6 frames max by doing that setup that you're doing. So, this is kind of what you want to do. Kind of, but like, just taking that cardinal there, as long as it's consistent for you, it doesn't really lose that much time. Okay. Okay. You're going a little too high here. So for this room, you kind of just need to be like here. So like I make sure that Link's shield, or not Link's shield, Link's shadow is pointing at the corner of this little pipe thing here. So basically, like, make sure your shadow is pointing at that, and then that's all the further up that you need to go. Okay. So you have the right idea there. You want to slash the sword in this room, but what you want to do it while you're in door state. The reason is, when you're in door state, nothing can slow you down. So you walk at the same speed with your sword out as you do normally, versus here, you walk slower with your sword out. So if you're slashing a tile early, you're doing this whole tile of movement with sword speed, which is 1-1-1-1, not your normal 2-1-2-1. But when you're in the door, it's kind of hard to see because I only have like a half a tile to work with here. But you want to actually wait until you're in door state, and there's a way. There's a setting here. Setting here somewhere that okay. Well, I'm not going to try to find it, but there's a setting in, I believe it's in here in HUD Extras, that that you can use to put something up in like the upper left of the HUD here. Or I guess I should do it here. Put it in the upper left of the HUD to tell you whether you're in door state or not. So I would maybe play around with that a little bit. But if you don't feel like that, essentially you're in door state as soon as, like, right here, you're in door state. So, like, as soon as you, like, A good way to get the visual cue is to just like bump off of a door until you start moving up. There, I'm in door state. So you want to wait until you're actually inside of the door, which, as you can see, doesn't actually mean inside of the door, but like when you're in door state, you want to wait till then to slash your sword and then go through. Okay, nothing wrong with that. Very nice. So, the only thing here is, so you did this part right. What you need to do for this text box, optimally what you're going to do is you're just going to double tap, you're going to tap right to cancel the text box, and then you're going to tap right and Y to throw your boomerang, right? So, like that. If you get the boomerang throw while you're facing up, that's called swaggerang. It saves you essentially it means that you threw the boomerang on the first frame possible. And if Link turns to the right at all, that means you threw the boomerang late. I don't even see top runners hit swaggerang very much, so, but it doesn't cost anything to go for it, so knock yourself out. Okay. So, I'm going to tell you exactly what's going to happen here. You're going to come up here, you're going to get your lamp, you're going to do your cutscene, and then you're going to try to come out and you're going to have to boom this guard again. Or you're going to have to walk around him like that. Let me try to get the right RNG. Yep, okay, awesome. What? That doesn't lock the RNG? Okay, so if he goes right like this, you just want to kill him. I don't care about those other rooms. So, you want to cancel your stair drag, and then you want to kind of have your eye on this guard. And if he goes right, you just kill him. And if he drops something, you want to try to pick it up, but don't, like, stick around too long. Let's see this ball and chain fight again. I was kind of watching, but not really closely. Right, so before we do that, another option for this, and what I do during runs, is to just mash LR here, and just wait for the visual cue of the text box disappearing. It's hardly foolproof to do it like that, but it is what it is. Like, basically, you just have to time when that text box is going to cancel, and time your boom throw for it. And try not to step too far to the right. Like, if you have to, like tap right and then tap the boomerang so that Link faces right and you, like, something like that. If you have to do that, then that's fine. You're gonna lose more time trying to get that perfect boom throw and taking extra steps to the right than you will waiting that little time in between. We went through the guard RNG. Okay. So that was a decent fight. But you tinked off of him. That's not because you're doing anything wrong per se, but there is a way to deal with it. So, when you tink like that, you just hold the sword out. So, when you're slashing here, watch my inputs. Notice how I'm holding B. Because if you tink off of him, but still keep holding up, you can actually just go in for a backup stab. I think the tinks are just a frame rule. And then you had the good idea here of using the boomerang to grab the key. You just want to be a little closer to the lock when you do that. So what most people do is just kind of stand here at the lock. You're supposed to be a little higher than what I am. Like you can go like till Link's hat is overlapping by like 2 pixels there. Before you get the text box. And obviously you want to be as high as possible, because you just do. Okay. You ate that wall because you didn't do the correct movement. So here is easy, you just hold upright. It's whatever. So here you tried to cancel the stair drag and then straight into a down left, which doesn't work. You have to go left, down a little bit so that you clear this corner, and then down left. So like that. Because eating this wall just wastes a lot of time. Let's see how much it loses. 654 versus 655. Okay, it only loses like a frame, but it's something that's very easily remedied. I guess if you don't like this snap motion here, then just kind of do what you're doing, because it's fine. It's only losing a frame. But by and large, you don't want to be like eating walls and stuff. Okay, so just real quick. So you want to intentionally anti-pump here. I think you were holding down, or I think you were holding upright here, which is correct. Because when you get past this wall, you can actually get pixel boosted off of it, and then that'll make you run into this. So you just do like an intentional anti-pump. So you just do something like that. So like that, just to make sure that you're actually lined up against this and you're not pixel boosted off the corner. So you did. I'm pretty sure you did that correctly. You did this correction, which is fine. You're moving up, so you're technically pumping. So yeah, that correction is fine, only because you're moving up, though. But what I saw and what I wanted to explain here is that if you move diagonally against this wall, you're actually moving at 2 pixels per frame when you're doing this, when you're dragging. Versus here where you're only doing 1.5 pixels per frame. So you actually go very slightly faster like this, but look at how many tiles this is. This is at least like 32 tiles. So 32 tiles times 16 pixels, I mean, do the math. It's a good bit faster. Very good. I was expecting you to jump off the top like you do in Kaz Boots, and yeah, you're not supposed to do that. Okay. Okay, I like that you're getting these clean door entries. It really does look like that you're like trying for them. I think you're trying a little too hard for them though. Like those adjustments that you're making to try and get into the doors are losing you time. I'm not sure they're losing you more than not cleanly doing the door though. Yep. Good reflexes. That guy always hits me. I so I when I'm pumping, I'm pumping in that room, so I'm always pumping and to try and get my thumb from right to Y is terrible. Okay, so here I'm not gonna tell you to do that stair cancel because it's kind of cursed, but what you are doing here is you're using the sword too much. So for the sniper rat, it's fine. If this rat's coming down, you just deal with it the way that you want to deal with it. The thing is though, every time like throwing the boomerang, especially when you're close to an enemy, is about 4 frames faster than slashing the sword. So especially on like these snakes, where you have to slash them twice to get rid of them, you can boom once, and that'll save you like half a second, because you don't have to slash a second time to get him out of the way. So you want to use your boomerang, especially in this split and in the next split. You want to use your boomerang as much as you possibly can. Okay, very nice. I can tell you're water pumping there. If you don't pump anywhere else in Hyrule Castle, make sure you're pumping back here, because pumping in the water really does save a decent amount. Okay, you got knocked off your track there. You knew what you were doing. Okay. If you get blocked, like, so that left side is what it is. It's optimal to go up the left side because then like if there's no rats here, then you can just move right past those bats, and I think you know that, and that's why you're going for it. But if this isn't possible, what you really want to do is just boom those 2 bats. Like, this is gonna be a lot faster than taking a hit most of the time. Sometimes the game just says fuck you. So doing this, or even like going a little further to the right here and only doing the right bat, that's gonna save you more time. Like, optimally, I would say aim for the middle or the left bat. But even if you only do the right bat, it's better than taking a hit from a rat. Okay. Yeah, you whiffed there, but there was no way you knew if he was stopping there. Oh, no rat frame, Sedge. Oh, gold escape. GG. So the major time losses there were tanking off the ball and chain guard. Um, you lost some time on the second key guard because you didn't boom very quickly. I saw double sticky priest. Yeah, so NPCs and switches are very sticky. If you run into them, you won't slide around them like you will with walls. Okay, very nice. I can tell you watched FMG because Fricker really likes that visual cue. Okay, I'm not sure. I'm not sure that ramming your face against this tree matters. That said, I don't do it that way, and I don't know anybody else who does. So I'm gonna say tentatively that it doesn't matter since you're still moving down right. But okay, so that's a good safe path for that. You're not gonna get fucked by Octoroks like that. Optimally though, you want this inside path. And it sucks that sometimes you're gonna get hit by an Octorok. But you want to exit this screen as close to this wall here as possible. Because when you're on this screen, you're moving down right. Right? So you're moving down right toward this. If you transition this screen over here, you're gonna have to walk right for at least this portion and then this portion. Like you really want these clean diagonals like this. Yeah, so it's hard to see here, but so you're going down right here. Change directions here to go right. And then you change directions again to go down right. And then, yeah, so you change directions one additional time, which gives you an anti-pump, and it also gave you these couple tiles of right-facing movement instead of diagonal movement. Like, you really, like, look at how clean this is. You really want to hit this diagonal right here. Okay. Yeah, slash that guy all day long. Fuck that guy. I did say before that booming is faster. And a lot of people do just choose to boom this guy when he gets in the way. So there's two things wrong with that. One, if you miss with the boomerang, you're just straight up losing time. Because you could have just walked. So if you throw the boomerang and you miss, then you could have just walked past him instead of throwing the boomerang, so you're losing time. The other thing is you want to advance this prize pack. These guys are in the rupee prize pack, and you want to advance that pack. You want to see this blue rupee on the ground. You want to see that blue rupee on the ground. The reason is, this is only if you're doing tree rupees, by the way. If you're doing tree rupees, you really want a red rupee to drop, because that's just fewer rupees that you have to get off trees. Like if you get one red, then that's 2 fewer blues that you need to pick up. If you get a red and a blue, then you can look at skipping a red. That said, I don't know what rupees you do, but if you're looking to take your light world time down, doing tree rupees versus Saha rupees is about a 5.5, 6 second save. Okay. So you really want to make sure that you're above this guy here. If this guy gets in the way, just kill him. You can also boom him, but this alley here is 2 tiles wide, and this guy's got some moves. He can juke you. So you really want to make sure that you're standing above this Armos statue before you activate it. The reason being, if you're to the left of it, you can just like boom it like that, but you have to wait for it to activate anyway. And like that gives you the time that you need to get up here. Now, you can boom this statue. It's stunnable. That said, you have to wait for the cutscene anyway, so you have a free slash here. So, boom versus sword doesn't lose time on here because you have to wait for the Armos to activate. The upside of using the sword here is if this guy goes to the right and then back to the left, he can just choose to stop right on this Armos statue. And if you slash, not only will that knock the Armos away, but it'll also kill the Octorok. So that's the advantage of slashing over booming. And also, booming is not faster because of the cutscene. Okay, nice double pumping. Okay, I see Bidy's already told you that you don't need to move in that room. That's a big thing that Bidey harps on, is that first room of Eastern. You don't need to press any buttons except for up and A. Okay, so you're down a heart here. I think you took damage from an Octorok. Why am I over here? Oh, okay. So, when you're here, and you're moving over here, you need to walk around this pot to come and get this pot, which is the optimal one to do, because it's closer to the door. But if you need a heart and you're a full heart down, I would just grab this. This is only 5 frames slower than going above. And you don't want to introduce the chance that later on, especially during the anti-fairies, the big key boost, that you don't want to introduce a chance that you're at really low health for that. It's also good to know for Master Sword runs, because presumably you're skipping Sankheart in those runs. And that, like, you really need to pay attention to your life when you don't have Sankheart. Okay, so you didn't need to do that little juke back up. But that's fine. Alright, you went a little low there, a little lower than I normally do. So like, part of getting this room fast is like the controlled tight movement. So like I'm throwing it up here. You were down here a little bit, which will still hit the Stalfos, but that's an extra wasted movement, and also you're not going to be able to get up here in time to get this guy before he spawns. And then just notice on the second pot throw here, I'm holding down right after the like during the pot pickup, I'm holding down right and then just tossing it down right away. Because if you do something... So you can actually pick up this pot from either 1 pixel away, or you can pick it up like this. And if you're right up against that pot and you pick it up and you throw it straight down, then there's a chance that you're going to miss that skeleton. If you're holding down right, you will never miss. Ever. Because it offsets you by 1 pixel, and that covers all of the... That covers all of the ways that pot can be thrown. Sub-pixel positions and such. Okay. Good job realizing that you were gonna be anti-pumping there. And I think you only changed directions twice in that room. So that's absolutely fine. Okay. Really quick. This is another time that, So, this is a closing door, so it will spit you out, and you are not in door state here. So you don't need to cancel anything, and it's not gonna hurt you if you just hold a diagonal here. And in fact, sliding against this wall is faster than just going cardinal right. Okay. You changed directions twice in that room, which you had to. I understand you weren't lined up, but just make sure you go high enough, and make sure that you're doing fluid movement and not anti-pumping in this room. Because if you every time you change directions while you're moving right, you're anti-pumping. Okay, I think walking around that guy is faster than slashing him when he's up top like that, but that said, I think Aerie just kills him, and he says it's for consistency, so killing him is fine. Okay, you didn't need that heart. You're meant to be on a heart and a half leaving that room. Where is this fucking thing? Mid-key damage boost. So, you did it right. Just boost off him, get in the middle, and then try to get boosted up. And see here on my HUD, it says 1-4. That means I'm at 1.5 hearts. You're meant to be at 1.5 hearts leaving this room, no matter if you have Sank Heart or not. You didn't need that pot, and look at how far away it is. Look at how far this is to go for 1 heart, and you didn't even get the full heart because you got hit by a Popo up here. Okay, those pot throws were a little slow, but that just takes practice. So here's going to be one thing that I'm going to harp on a lot, especially if we end up doing GT today. When you're... Practice deck is broken. So... You're going to come down, you're going to get these arrows, all well and good. You're going to come up, you're going to get this bow. Okay, now what? Well, you need to be on the bow for the next room. You already know that. That's not new information. Now, when do you menu to the bow? That's the question. When you change items in this game, you have to press start, you have to change to the item, and you have to press start again. There's no getting around that, unless you play vanilla preset. What you need to do is just embrace the fact that this menu is going to burn a second, but you want to be doing multiple things with every menu. Okay, so here... When you make it to this door and you menu here, this menu isn't doing anything except for switching items. Okay, so when do I menu? Well, there's a few different spots. So you could, just right after you get the bow, menu to bow right away, and then read the RNG of those skeletons down there. So you see that one's going to the left, and I think the other one's going down. So here you would pick whether to go left or right during this menu. And here you would pick left because that was the RNG. Okay? This is a perfectly fine time to menu. Now what if you don't want to do it there? Well, then you can come all the way up here, you can enter the next room, and then menu here, right before you need to use the bow. What this is going to do is this is going to stop Link's movement entirely because the pause menu is up. So it's going to stop Link's movement entirely. It's going to let you make sure that you're activating that Igor because the first little phase of its awakening should be going on while the menu is scrolling. And it will give you a second to prepare for facing left and shooting. Okay, if you do this quick shot here will almost never miss. Unless you shoot like insanely early. If you just do this, then you'll never miss that arrow. And the third option for menuing, if you are so inclined, this is the one I do. So you do what's called a stair cancel. So when Link is on the last tile of manual stairs, you can press either left for 1 frame or right for 2 frames to cancel the stair drag, a lot like you do with spiral staircases. So what you can do here is get to the bottom of the stairs, which actually I need to move down a little bit. Get to the bottom of the stairs, and then you can menu to your bow, and then while the menu is scrolling, you just need to make sure that you're in the right position to get your stair cancel. Whether you choose to do stair cancel, that's up to you. Stair cancels are, like, it takes up more brain space than it's worth to me, honestly, so I wouldn't worry too much about them. It saves something like, it's like a maximum of 14 frames every time you do one, but, like, that's only if you execute it incredibly optimally. So anyway, that's I was just trying to explain why I do the menu in a different spot there. Okay, so you're going a little wide there, which is losing you movement. Which is fine. Okay, so you did that room right, but one little tip here is that so you do what you did, but here what you want to do is just face Link down and then hold down left. What that is going to do is have Link slide across that pot instead of bashing his face into it like you did. And when you're sliding, anytime that you're on this pot tile, you can pick up the pot. Oops. Excuse me? So like that. A good way to time the room is you don't want these two anti-fairies to meet above this statue here. That's how you know you're doing the room right. If the anti-fairies are not allowed to kiss, then you're doing it fast enough. But yeah, that pot slide is really good because it sticks you to the pot, and it's also faster than going cardinal, and also the pot will not impede your movement, which is the most important thing. Okay, that's fine. Alright, I can tell you're pumping now. Okay. Very nice. The only note I have is do stuff faster. You're doing it right, just do it faster. Okay. So for this room, this one's tough. So what you want to do here is just activate both of them, which FMG will tell you to go up here, down here, and then up here again. Looks a little something like that. Up, down, up. And since you're waiting for the guy to awaken, it doesn't really matter how far you go, like, to wake him up. You just kind of want to stay aligned with this door. So if you do something like this, you want to just make sure that you're aligned with the door there. And just make sure you're not shooting early on these guys. What FMG is going to tell you to do is to just stay on this line and only deviate by 1 pixel. You don't really need to follow that, because as long as you get your bow shot off on time, then it's fine. So you can do like, but once they're woken up, you want to stay on this little line through the room, and you only want to deviate like one pixel to either side. But you can wake them up however you want. Alright, let's see this. Okay. Little slow, but it looks like you got the quick kill. So, I've seen this setup too, and I'm not really sure why people do it. I find that it's a lot easier to keep this original 5 rhythm here if you're really, really close to them. So, like, I've definitely seen this setup before. The thing is, the further you are from the Armos Knight, the more chance that you have to get a bow shot eaten because you shot too early. Like that. So, but if you're close, the arrow will hit quicker and you won't get so many. Sorry, it's hard to talk and execute at the same time, but yeah, the closer you are to the Armos Knight, easier it's going to be to hit him, and the more time you'll have to get in this second position here. And the less time you'll spend flailing around. Yeah, so 519, that can come down a lot, a good bit. 519, optimally you want like sub 5 for that split. Sub 5 with Sankard is actually very, very good. So you want like 50x for that split. So take like 10-15 seconds off of that time and you'll be a lot better. Now you did take an extra cycle in double readies, which I think is 6 seconds, so it should be fairly easy to shave those last couple off. Alright. Okay, you ate the cliff there, you don't want to do that. Okay. So are you doing tree rupees is the question. Okay. So Saha Rupees is fine. I'm not gonna tell you... I'm not gonna, like, make you do Tree Rupees. The only thing, though, is... when you're here, you don't necessarily want to talk to him from the front. Because then, if you talk to him from the front, Saha's a sprite, and he's sticky. So if you're here and you're talking to him and you try to get around him, you can stick to him. Alright, sorry about that. So, you have the chance to stick to him if you talk to him from the front. But, if you talk to him from the side, after you're done talking, you can just press up. So if you're doing Saha Rupees, always talk to him from the right side, and you can talk to him from pretty high up. Like there's a very large area here that you can talk to him from. But just so he doesn't get in your way, you want to talk to him from the right. And like I said before, doing Tree Rupees will save a good bit of time. Okay. Definitely want to work on tightening that up. So this was fine. But you went all the way to the top here. You definitely want... Optimally, you want to be against this rail. Now, do I always do it optimally? Fuck. But you definitely want to pay attention to... You definitely want to pay attention to when you exit the ladder. And make sure that you're taking the correct path. And I just watch the camera. I'm looking at the edge of the screen and waiting for it to go berserk, basically. Because if you use this to line up, like you're taking these 2 extra tiles of movement, and then you have to retread those tiles coming down this way. So, and by staying here, all you have to do is just go. And then you want this diagonal here rather than going all the way around, just because diagonals are shorter, not because you move any faster. This is the fastest that Link can move. But you want this diagonal here because the diagonal is shorter than going here and here. Just think of this as a triangle here. Like, these 2 sides are always going to be longer than this one side of the triangle. So you always want this diagonal, and then when you're clear of this vulture statue, you just switch to down. Okay. I see this in every single Okay, so this bridge screen is one that you get to skip in Master Sword runs. You have to do it in no save and quit, though. So, how you do it? Well, when you're here and you're lined up here, you're actually 1 pixel lower than you need to be on the next screen. So you need to readjust your lineup. Let me get a save state. So you're going to be dashing here. When you're dashing on a slope, you can get a pixel boost. You're not going to be able to see it here, but later on when we do fake flippers, you're going to be able to see it a lot better. But when you're dashing off a slope, right, like here, when you exit the slope, when you get clear of it, it can put you on 1 of 2 pixels. Now, that's usually doesn't matter, but in some key places it will matter, and this is one of them. Because if you get pixel boosted down, then you're actually too low, and you need to be higher. So while this screen is scrolling, always hold up left and normalize Link's position. Even if you didn't get pixel boosted, you still want to do that, just in case you did and you don't notice that you got pixel boosted. Because if you just hold up left on this screen, not only will you see Link move on the first frame that's available to dash on, and you can dash quicker, but you'll also just never hit that guy. And if you're too low, he can hit you out of your dash, and then you lose time. Okay, you're a little low on that screen. Okay, so here, same deal. You want to be holding up left here to try to. You want to be holding diagonals on all of these screens just to watch for Link to move. You want to be holding diagonals here because you want to wait. You want to watch for Link to move and or for him to put his sword away, and then that's the first time that you can dash. And then your dash line is right here, right above this path here. Oops. And that is because you actually want to go through these bushes, because even though it's slower dashing through bushes than not dashing through bushes, it's also slower to take this extra tile or two of movement. It's slower to take the extra tile of movement and go around the bushes than it is to just dash through. So this is your dash line you want right here, and then you really do want to make sure that you just dash all the way to this cliff, and then you walk around it, and then you dash up. Because when you do that, you will account for all of the RNGs of this blue guard. And he won't be able to hit you, because while you're charging your dash is when he's frozen in his, oh, look, a Lonk animation. Nice bonk. Okay, don't do that. Don't do the spin speed. This spin speed is not worth it. It's not worth it a lot at any level, I would say. I just do it because I like it, and not necessarily to save time. But if you are going to do that spin speed, there's a responsible way to do it. So what you want to do here is treat this like the same screen but in the Dark World. So dash here, and then dash above the tree. That guard will never hit you, and then dash up. Hold your sword out through the screen transition, then activate your spin speed and go. So if you're only timing this library screen, Unholy Spin Speed looks like it saves about 40 frames. But you have to take into account the difference of walking this screen with your sword out versus not sword out. That takes about 12 frames. Then you have to account for human error here, especially just getting the spin speed first off. And secondly, making sure that you hit this ladder on the first pixel available and you don't go onto the second. So you really just need to hit that ladder. So when it all comes out in the wash, Unholy Spin Speed done perfectly, like task level, will save around 20 frames. And every frame your human brain makes a mistake, which is probably a good number of them, then you're just losing those frames, and it becomes not worth it very quickly. So I would suggest instead doing this extremely consistent but very boring strat. Just walk through here, no sword out, through the bush, walk to the other side of the fence, and then into the library. Extremely easy, extremely consistent, also kind of boring. Okay, nice dash. Just make sure you don't get stuck on that bookcase again. Okay, you can't arm spin speed when you're facing left. And this is another screen that you get to skip in save and quit. So that's how I do it. The big reason is exactly what happened here, because if you're trying to slash your sword while doing this down left here, you get the chance that you let go of your down, especially because like I press the B button pretty hard and it shakes my controller, and sometimes it will drop that down input because this D-pad is extremely sensitive, which is why I like it. But if I'm in this door when I slash my sword, then I don't have that problem anymore. And I believe this is a spin speed that if you fail it, I'm trying to fail it and that's not working. So nope. I keep trying to fail this and it's not working. There. So when you fail that spin speed the first time, it is 100% worth it to try again, because doing this with spin speed versus not, I believe, is a 2.5 second save. So it's worth trying to rearm it. There aren't a lot of spin speeds that are like that, but that is one of them. Okay, you do the boring FMG thing. So that's fine. That's just boring. But what you do want to do is try and get this dash line again. If you're gonna be boring and be on the left side here, it's a lot easier to grab this bush because there are fewer RNGs that fuck you. So if you're doing the boring thing, you might as well just go for the optimal strat. But if you do like I do, and you go on the right side of this path, then you can dash down, get this slope dash, but it is harder to then get the optimal dash line here. So I always just go below. Oops. So, like, when you enter here, because of where you're entering and where the blue guard spawns, he'll never be able to hit you. And then you hit that, and then you hit this slope, which can launch you. Usually doesn't, though. So that's optimally how it's supposed to go, but I usually just go below the bushes because it doesn't lose much. But point is, you want to be about 2 tiles higher. You want to be like where these bushes are versus where you're at here. Okay. So you did a little bit of an adjustment, which it looked like you needed to, but you really didn't. If you cut this dash short, as long as you're in this alleyway here, don't adjust it. The reason is, even if you cut this short, if you adjust that, you're adjusting it at walking speed. So if you're here and you're like, oh, I need to be over here, you're gonna walk over here. Whereas if you just transition here and you just do this dash like this, then you're adjusting it at dash speed. So if you cut this short, then you can make your adjustment here using the boots. Okay, so this is another one that you need to... See how I'm taking his sword there? This is a frame roll. You can lose that frame roll. There's a 25% chance he hits you out of your dash like this. So how do you fix it? Well, you just hold upright. Hold upright, wait for Link to go one step upright, and then just go through him. And an additional thing, don't ever, ever, ever go for this slope here. It's not worth it. It's 2 frames faster to hit this slope, but this guy has so many RNGs that just fuck you and hit you out of your dash. It's not worth it for those 2 frames. Just get clear of the slope. If you get clear of the slope, he can't fuck you. Okay, that's fine if you want to do that menu there, but part of that menu is pausing so that you can see whether Link is in position to dash. So I am. So now I'm gonna buffer the down, and I'm gonna dash. And then here, like I overshot a little bit, so I can buffer the right, and then I can dash turn down. Right, so part of that menu is so that you can stop Link's position, and then you can buffer either your next movement, or you can buffer your adjustment so that you can not do the water dash. Okay, yeah, you just canceled that way early, and I can tell you knew that it was early. All right, let's count how many extra tiles we just moved. 1, 2, 3, 4. You want to hug this Stell? You can even pump against it if you're so inclined, but hardly ever saves time. But yeah, you want to stay tight up against this little pedestal here, and then take this slight diagonal that you have and make sure that you hit the hole here. Okay, probably want to go a little further to the left there, but it's fine. Okay. One thing about that spin is you can do it from pretty far down. So you can actually hit this from all the way down here. I think you can actually go like... I think you can hit it from like there also. Yeah, you can hit this from stupidly far down. You don't need to walk all the way up to him and risk poking. Okay, just overshot and ate the door there. That's fine. Okay, you got shot here because you ate the door coming into the room. So if you're holding up left, you're gonna get shot. Maybe not. Okay. So I just remembered how BMO statues work. So this is actually a double frame rule, whether he sees you here or not. So GG, I guess. But yeah, if you do stuff like that, he can and will shoot at you if you do that. So what you need to do is you need to get clear of the door before coming in here. and then do your key bonk. Alternatively, if you keep getting shot like that, and you don't like the quote-unquote fast strat, this one ties. So you just go around the right, dash, dash, and then dash out. That is time neutral to the quote-unquote fast strat. Maybe not quite, but it's basically time neutral. Alright. If you don't want to, if you don't want to deal with this BMOS, just want to dash, dash, pump, dash out. Easy enough. Okay. Not much to say about most of those rooms. Oh, very nice. That's really hard to pull off, actually. So, yeah. Nice cannonball skip there. One thing I will say, though, let me just rewind a second here. So, good job realizing that you needed to take a step back and recharge the dash there. But when you get bad cannonballs like that, you need to, which I'm pretty sure you didn't. You didn't. Okay. You need to walk down to the sands when you get that RNG. And then you can dash out, because you just need that little bit longer for this thing to get out of the way. And then right here would be your dash line. And you can see it's going to line up pretty nicely right here. So right there would be your dash line. No. Bad. Oops. So 325, 327, but what if I don't dash at all? 322? Awesome. On awkwardly shaped rooms like this, it's mostly, like, by and large, it's better to just diagonal to a dash line, or diagonal to somewhere, like, it doesn't make sense to dash here. So you just pump along this wall. So you just, this is a bastard door, so get out of it, but left, up left, and then pump along this wall. In weirdly shaped rooms like that, where you don't have, even when you have a clear dash line, it's mostly faster to diagonal to it. Okay, if you're low on rupees, I know you're getting Saha rupees, but sometimes you get literally 0 drops. This pot right here is the only pot that you'll ever need when you're getting Saha rupees. if you're getting tree rupees and you have, I would say 7 or fewer, then you can grab this to skip a blue later, because getting 4 blues from the original tree is incredibly slow and lags the fuck out of your game. Okay, where's this? Get something weird back here. Okay. So this short diagonal is not worth just is not faster than just going straight down and then dash turning out. Because this picture this triangle again. This side is shorter because, I mean, think of a right triangle, right? Because this side and this side are always going to be shorter than this side, and you're only traversing one side. So this path here is always going to be shorter than this one. And even though you're moving faster by going diagonally, it's not fast enough that it makes it not worth it to just do this and dash turn out. Very good. Okay. If you get trapped like that, spam the R button. Because if you're trapped, you can just... Oh. He's not going to trap me, is he? Alright. If you get trapped like this, just spam the R button and you can get out. That's how you get out. Okay, no dashes, very nice. Boom, boring. Oh, we'll fix that menu in a second. No. This is another one where there's not, so, I don't like this strat, but it's perfectly fine. So this is another one where I think I timed it, and dashing here only loses like 2 frames. Like this dash only loses like 2 frames versus this. But it's 2 free frames, and you don't have to worry about like dashing up and canceling. Like, you don't have to worry about bonking here at all. Plus, it's just nominally faster. So just walk this. Okay. What did we learn? Well, that maybe your cardinals aren't as clean as we thought. Now, how do you avoid this? Well, when you pick this up, just go down first and then over. You do a half circle. I forget what that is in fighting game terms, but like, just watch what I'm doing here. So no matter what pixel I ended up on, I'm always going to line up against that wall. Just watch Link and you'll see him just flash down. And then you'll always get your key dash. Okay. Yeah, that's about as well as that Popo Genocide can go. Okay. So you took damage there because you were you were doing some wiggling. So 1 wiggle, 2 wiggle, 3 wiggle, and now this Popo has time to get at you. So the reason that this strat works so in this room, this dash line is actually the fastest. Why don't I recommend it? Well, that's because of this Popo. This Popo can choose to take this movement, and he can block you. Now, if you do this and you get lucky, then that's faster. If you don't want to get lucky, if you want to be consistent, you go down below the torch. Why? That upper Popo, this Popo, is not spawned yet. This Popo won't spawn until you get to about there-ish. And when the Popo spawns, it's on a frame count timer to when it chooses and does its movement. And the reason that this strat works is because you're always clear of him before he can move. So you really need to work on getting all of your movement very nice and clean in this room, and then you won't have to worry about that Popo ever again. Think of this room as a script. Like, just do everything on script, and it'll be the same way every single time. There's not a lot of rooms like that in this game, but this is definitely one of them. Okay, I'm kind of gonna harp on getting that heart there, because even though you're at 1 heart, there's nothing dangerous in these next couple rooms, and you're gonna be getting hearts right here. Because I guarantee if you got that heart, then you're gonna pick up those 2 as well. And I think I would rather you do the fight on 3 hearts. Yeah. Then waste the extra. It's probably like a second that you wasted getting that extra heart there. Okay, and so here's the thing about the menu also. You notice I'm on book, and I have been on book this whole time. That's because you want to use this menu to stop your movement, switch to the lamp, and then while this menu is scrolling up, you want to buffer a down left. That will cancel your dash, and it will make Link move down left, and it will also put you in perfect position to light this torch. Menu, buffer. Okay, so cancel it actually a little further to the right than I was, but... And remember that your lamp goes further than you think. Now, part of the reason that this spin speed is a thing is because this strat with the menu ties the normal boring strat, but it menus you to the lamp so that you don't have to do it later, so it ends up saving just about a second, depending on... It's just under a second, depending on how long it took you to menu. And likewise, here, you menu to your bow here, which Flip does that and it drives me up the fucking wall. Because a much better time to menu is just right here. Okay. Oh boy. Alright, yeah, you're going too hard there. So, for the first cycle, it's very unlikely that you're going to take a worm out. No matter where you're standing or what hop the worm does. It's very, very unlikely that you're going to get to take one out right away. A better thing to do is to just spread the love here. So you don't want to move at all out of this door. You want to bonk the wall, and then you want to buffer an upright, and that's where you menu to your bow. Because you want to use that. You want Link to go 1 pixel upright, and then you want to menu to your bow, and then you want to set up here. This will always, if you shoot when this right landmo is in the second phase of the hole. So that's the first phase of the hole. That's the second phase, and then that's the third phase. Okay? So when I'm referring to first phase, second phase, third phase of the landmo digging, that's what I'm referring to. Now, when this landmo on the right is in the second phase, this is when you want to shoot your bow to the left. On every single RNG from this position, on every single RNG, no matter which way he goes, no matter which hop he takes, the first arrow will always hit. The second arrow will hit about 75% of the time. So you can almost always get 2 arrows in on this left landmo right away, no matter which pattern he takes. And you'll always get at least 1. Alright. I don't really have many secrets for cleanup. You just kind of have to do the fight a lot. I recommend doing the 100 landmos in an hour challenge. I did the math on it at some point. It's you have to average like 35 seconds per fight, which is, I believe, a 5 cycle. So that not only forces you to do the fight 100 times, and also like go somewhat fast while doing it. So it's a decent challenge when you're first doing stuff. So yeah, you always want to go straight up, bonk, bonk, 1 pixel upright, and then menu to your bow, face left, wait for phase 2. That was early. And try to shoot on short distances. So here I'm shooting from left to right instead of right to left. You would think it doesn't matter, but it really does, because when you're like, the longer your arrow stays in the air, The longer your arrow stays in the air, the longer you're locked out of using your bow. Like if I... Sometimes you'll see me take risky shots, and there's a reason for it. But by and large, you want to keep these shots as short as possible. So like something like that, I knew that was gonna hit because he was only ever gonna go either down or left. And I'm just really bad at explaining this fight. I can show you the initial setup, but like you really do just need to sit in this room for a few hours and figure out just how the Lanmos move, what paths they can choose to take, when you can take your shots, when you can turn around and take a second shot, how to track damage, stuff like that. Like this is all just stuff that's going on in my head. And that, you know, you just kind of absorb. Like I said, do the 100 Lambos in an hour challenge, and it'll at least give you a consistent 5 cycle. Another thing that you can do here is to just not go for doubles at all, because you'll always hit that first one. And as long as you just focus on getting 1 arrow in each worm on each cycle, then you'll always just have a clean leg 4. So 1. Alright, I'm bad at so 1 here, 1 here. Alright, so you missed, but that's fine. Just focus on landing 3 arrows per cycle. Sometimes you need to go slow to go fast. And if you miss one, just put a second one into another worm. So if you only focus on getting 1 arrow in each worm per cycle, then you'll always have a 4 cycle. Easy game. Alright, we can come over here. Okay. So, I'm going to preface this by saying, don't do Sandman Dash. It's not worth it. The strat you're looking for is this one. This is the easiest. The easiest way to exit desert. It's foolproof. You cannot get hit. There is no RNG involved. You will do the exact same thing every single time, and you can't get fucked. Now you can even do something like this to get a small boost off of that rock. And come over here. Now, I said don't do Sandman Dash, but it does kind of objectively look cool, so here's how to do it. You want to hold down right coming out of here, and you need to nudge this rock. Because if you don't nudge this rock, if you're 1 pixel below this rock, you're going to jump off too much. But if you nudge this rock, then you're going to stick to this cliff face, which is what you want. Okay? So you stick to the cliff face, you need to take 1 step up. What you're doing here is you're normalizing Link to the grid, and you get a small boost when you dash on the grid versus not. Now, do you have to do that? No, it saves like 2 frames. It's very fair to just like hold down there. But doing that is technically faster. So, count the cow skeletons here. There's 5 of them. And then when you're clear of the 5th one, slash to the right and then dash. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, slash and dash. So to get the Sandman dash to save time, you just need to get lucky, because you need to hit a good slope pixel here, and it's not always obvious which one you're gonna hit, and some of them just stick you to the wall. So it's not always obvious that you're gonna get like a good slope dash off of here, which is where basically all of the Sandman dash time save is. This, completely idiot proof, and I'm pretty sure even like Foxless mains this and he's a 123 runner. We're talking a difference of a handful of frames, and you cannot mess up this strat. It is so easy. Even something like this, like, you can... and then if you really want to take the piss, you do Cactus Dash, which is... you dash all the way down to this cactus. And then you cancel, and then you... I don't remember where this pixel is. It's right. It's right here. So you just have to cancel. This is pixel perfect, by the way, and that's why I'm failing it so much. But it is RTA possible. I know Tam knows how to do it pretty well. Okay, watch that again. Okay, that dash isn't worth it. So this dash from here to here is not worth it. It's better to do a slope dash here and go up. So it's better to do a slope dash here, because while you're going up, you can kind of align yourself, and you have a huge window that you can dash through here. Like, you can take this line here. That'll actually bonk, so never mind. But yeah, but you can go anywhere from like above here to like where you're still gonna hit this slope right here. You have a huge window to hit here. The fastest is to just skip this slope altogether and go through here. So like this, but you don't lose a hell of a lot of time if you overshoot. So that's the fastest. But if you want to just dash up here and then just use that to normalize your position, that's fine as well. Doing something like this just introduces the bonk chance here, whereas if you do this, you're still dashing at all the same places, you just don't have any bonk chance until right here. Whereas there, you can bonk there. Flip's gonna like that. So it looks like you know what to do here. Flip always rags on me for going too low here. So essentially you want Linked Shadow. You want to be like here. You want Linked Shadow to be aligned with this little elbow here in the thing. Optimally, you do not want to cut this grass, because that's technically slower. It's only a couple of frames, and you also lose a little bit of time on this screen, but it still ends up being faster in the end, only by like a frame or two. So optimally, you do not want to cut this grass. You can actually be a little higher than that and still not cut the grass, but if you want to just get to here and just always cut the grass, that's also a decent visual cue. And then, yeah. Going higher here and cutting the grass is technically better because you're not getting as many walk frames on this screen in the grass, and you have a clean diagonal up to this tile here, which is optimally what you want to be able to ledge hop off of there. But if you just go a little further down, it does actually save a little tiny bit of time. Okay. So this is where you can see what I was talking about with pixel boosts. So how I do this screen is different than what FMG does. I like to align myself on the bottom here because you get the free diagonal. See, because you're going up against the slope, you're getting free diagonal movement without having to press a diagonal button. What FMG tells you to do is just like this, just dash, just go. And then they want you to go down and align yourself like that. I think it's easier to align yourself on this screen rather than just, you know, get off the screen and then you have to just walk down and you have to just hit the pixel idiot. This helps the idiot hit the pixel, as long as you know about pixel boosts. Now, because you're going to be hitting this slope, optimally you're not, actually. Optimally, what you want to do is just clear that slope entirely. And then you're already normalized here. You're already normalized here, and you can just move on to the next screen. But sometimes your visual cues are just off, or you just forget that day, and sometimes you hit this slope. Now, pay attention. Pay attention to my shadow versus the mountain's shadow. I'm too high there. Okay. See how there's one light pixel in between Link's shadow and the mountain's shadow? That means you got a pixel boost off of that slope, and you need to correct it on the next screen. So you do that by waiting for the screen to transition and holding down right to go down 1 pixel. Now, see that I'm aligned here? When I'm fully aligned with this mountain, when I'm on the grid, there's no space between Link's shadow and the mountain's shadow. So when I'm setting this up, I'm looking at that visual cue just to make sure I'm transitioning the screen on the right spot. Because this affects where this buzz blob spawns at. and it affects whether he can get in your way or not. Now, is this technically faster? Yes. If you can hit the pixel, if you can hit the correct pixel the first time, then you can just go here and then do this. Congratulations, you saved time. But this takes the human element out of it and gives, well, doesn't take the human element completely out of it, but it gives you more time to react because you have a whole screen transition to react to getting pixel boosted. So again, the reason that that's so important is that you need to transition the screen at the right time in order to make sure that that pickle spawns in the right spot and that he has less of a chance of fucking you over. He's pretty much gonna fuck you no matter what, but like he'll have less of a chance if you transition the screen at the right time. Oh wow. Man, how much did you practice that? That was sweet. I want to watch that again. Look at this. Whoa, whoa, oh, oh, oh. Hell yeah, dude. I love it. Oh, that's great. If that's consistent for you, fucking go for it, man. Yeah, you want to watch it again? It's so good. Hey, we got there. So, if you can do that consistently, more power to you, dude. I would just main that all fucking day long. But if you can't do that consistently, because I have no idea how to do that, what you can do, there's a few options here. When you get here, what you want to do is, don't do that. I'm just doing it for demonstration purposes. What you want to do is line up on this by canceling your dash somewhere along there. Like you don't need to worry too much about like being incredibly tight along here. Like if you end up canceling your dash here and just walking over to this bush, then that's fine. It's more important that you get lined up here than it is for you to like think about optimal dashing or whatever. So you get lined up here and you walk over to this bush. Now what I do is I just slash and then I buffer an upright during the slash, and then that will always put you in the right spot, like that. Another thing that you can do, instead of slashing, you can pick up and toss the bush, while also buffering an upright. And if you're a tryhard, then you can line up, you can slash and let go of your sword, then go one more pixel to the right and then do upright. I am not good at this. Yeah. That's why you need to go one pixel to the right to get on the correct diagonal. Yeah. So that's only if you're a true tryhard. But again, if what you're doing is working, then by all means, that looks cool as shit. Dash isn't worth it. Just, is it worth it, actually? That's... Now that I think about it, I might actually do that dash. Yeah, let's see if it's even worth it here. No, that dash is 100% not worth it. Okay. You're on 9 arrows here, so I don't blame you for not going for pickle shot there, but shooting that pickle is about 15 frames faster than walking around. Nice bonk. Okay, so you actually do want to... So, you actually want to pit state yourself there. Because when you're walking with the old man in pit state, you actually move at normal speed. Versus the 1 pixel per frame that he lets you walk otherwise. It's going to be hard to see. But I promise you that this is slower than this. Like, I can see it. This looks like he's zooming. This just looks like I'm dragging ass. So, you do want to get decently close to this pit, but not like so close that you're gonna get like trip frames or that you're gonna fall in the pit. And remember the Mr. Rogers thing, 143 for those text boxes. And you don't need to count these text boxes because you'll get the mirror and then it's 1 more. Okay, and then he did tell me he got cabbaged pretty hard here. There's not much you can do about that. I think if you would have hit the spin speed first try, then you would have been fine. But since you failed the spin speed and went back for it, which is worth it, by the way. Since you failed the spin speed and went back for it, then you were in position so that the cabbage that's more of a when it rains it pours situation. Okay, good job putting on the brakes there, but you need to do it a little earlier. And in case you don't know why you do that, it's because if you're moving at boot speed, you miss the quick warp there, and you have to be at walking speed to be able to hit the quick warp there. Yeah, fuck off, Katy Perry. Just as an aside, I probably would have taken the heal from the old man. That's just me, though. Okay, it looks like you know somewhat of where to hit those crystal switches, which is a big thing I see from runners of this level, is that they think they need to walk all the way up to the crystal switch in order to activate it. You look like you know you can be like almost a full tile away. Maybe you can be a full tile away. Alright, so tile room here is what it is. So basically everybody does this room differently, but by and large you want to keep this pot on the screen versus this one. And that's because on the second to last tile, you can pick this up and walk it over here, and then you can throw that at the last tile to explode it early. Because you want that last tile to explode early, because that's the only one that will save time. Like, the other ones exploding early, it doesn't matter, because all of the other ones are on a timer. So, like, all that running around that I do in this room doesn't actually matter. It just gives me something to do because I can't do the stupid boom dash. I tried it the other day. It's fucking impossible. So, I just kind of have fun with it. The only thing that will save you time is this last tile. You need something to break it. So you can either boom it if you have your boom already out. It's not worth menuing to it because you'll just need to menu again 2 rooms later. Or you can pick up a pot, carry it over here, and then throw it at the tile. Okay, you can hit that from a little bit lower. You can actually hit that when your shadow is like on this line here. So you could have been a couple pixels lower, but that's fine. That's getting too in depth here. All right, let's see this. No. Just no. Bad. 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 So. Let's see how quickly I can even do that. $13.01. So I can save you like 3 seconds in that room. Boom. How do you do that? Well, so you're holding right to cancel stair drag anyway, and you want to go to the right. Once you get clear of that pit there, you want to down right until you get to this dark line. And then you want to walk down until you can. You kind of just have to line it up that you're going to be bounced somewhat down right and hit this switch in the same sword slash as you knock the beetle off on. Now, this is admittedly a bit of a difficult maneuver. You can definitely get it for practice, but if you're having trouble with it and you want to keep doing runs or whatever, you want to focus on getting these guys down holes. And Nio does something like this. So you want to focus on getting these guys down the holes rather than killing them with damage. Unless you're throwing a pot at them, which will one-shot them. Okay? So, either knock him, switch, and then pot this guy, because you need this bomb. Or do the real strat. Okay, either way, stop spinning in this room, it's bad. This room is on my everyday practice list because it's not an easy room to get down. I was gonna say you don't need that heart, but yeah, it's fine. Okay, so it's a good thing that you noticed that dash was gonna bonk, but this dash actually is not as worth it as you think. It's only worth it if you get a grid dash literally from this wall to this spiral staircase. If you see that you're gonna bonk like you just did, it's faster to just cancel your dash and walk up. Just because this little spot right here
it's so short that you need to optimize that dash to save time. And if you want to main just, dashing over here and then just fully walking up, that's not going to lose you very much time. That's maybe a 15 frame loss if you want to just main walking. And and you don't need to worry about like pixel positions or lineups or even getting into a door cleanly because it's a spiral staircase and it doesn't matter. But dashing twice there lost you like a second. Okay. Um, you are a little low on health, so going for bottom heart is fine. I would say probably don't main that though. I would say probably try to main going for this top pot here, just because this extra movement is only worth it if you're like preventing a death. And right here at 3 hearts, you still need to take a bomb jump. You didn't hit the switch, so that probably is helping you more than it's not by getting that heart. But if you're up here at say like you're already at 4 or 5 hearts, then I wouldn't go for that pot. It's not worth it. Okay. I'm gonna. I'm sure you do this for a reason, but I'm still gonna go through it anyway. So, placing the bomb and then slashing the sword is so much faster. Because look at how much time I have, even after I spin. Look at how much time I have until the bomb, like, actually goes off. You have a million years to set up this spin. Now, if you just want to walk at sword speed because you're not sure about the lineup or whatever, then that's fine. You can do it like this. But the advantage to the up slash is that you can place the bomb and then spin the sword. So that while your sword is charging, your bomb timer is decreasing. That's what makes the sword up version faster than the sword down version. Yeah, I have trouble with this too. The first thing I'm gonna say is, oh, get those arrows. What are you doing, man? Alright, let's just stare at those arrows for a while, out of shame. Look how close you are to those arrows, man. Just fucking get them. You already fell. You're already losing time. You might as well get comfy on arrows. So, the first thing I'm gonna say is don't go any further right than you need to. So I cancel Stair Drag to the right, because if you cancel Stair Drag to the left, you're going to fall. So I cancel Stair Drag to the right here, because that puts you in the right spot. Now, my visual cue is I'm using the shadow, and I'm using these little triangles, these little alligator teeth. So there are 2 pixels that work here. There is this. This is too high, I think. Yeah. So that's too high. That pixel works. It doesn't work? What the hell? Okay. So I like the bottom of Link's shadow to be against the bottom of this, the corner of this little triangle. So you see the bottom of Link's shadow, put it on the corner of the triangle there so that you're fully covering up that alligator tooth, and then that's your dash line. That's what I'm looking for.
The pixel above that works as well, I believe. So don't go as far to the right. You don't have to use the same visual cue that I do. You can find your own. I just find this one to be the easiest. And put that on your everyday practice list because this loses a fuck ton of time if you mess it up.
And get those arrows, for fuck's sake. Okay, Moldorm. Okay. Taking that hit there was probably the best thing to do in that position, but you... Okay, so you do know dash strats, and you only use them on the Berserk phase. That's probably... I'm gonna say... Don't be afraid to use dash strats on the whole fight, but with the disclaimer that a lot of people overuse dash strats. What you want to do is just figure out which direction Moldorm is going, and then subsequently which direction you can go in order to dodge it. Now, I would recommend just sitting in this room doing nothing to Moldorm, or even in the prac hack, like, unequipping your sword. So you can unequip your sword here, and do like this, and get used to his movements. While, like, punching instead of slashing, so that he doesn't die. And then once you're used to his movements, and when you can slash and stuff, then you can look at stuff like this, where you can use your dash strat to get in behind him, or you can use your dash strat to prevent falling down. Oh, fuck. So yeah, that Hera split can come down a lot. You lost like over a minute in Hera, but you gained a minute on PP, so I mean, whatever. Okay. I'm just gonna go to the pedestal, because that's what he asked for, and then I don't really have time to do GT today, but I will probably do it tomorrow. Okay. So... you want to take the exact same path that you took, except... you want to spin speed instead of dashing. The reason that spin speed is better, it takes some time to arm it, but it's all because of Katy Perry. So you can dodge out of her way if she decides to get in your way. Also, it doesn't lose that much time because you have to like go down the stairs anyway, and using the stairs to charge your sword, and then unleashing a spin is more productive than just going down the stairs. What I will say though is what I see a lot of people do is to just like, yeah, and sometimes Katy Perry's just hot and cold. What I see a lot of people do though is take this. Oh, I'm clipped into the wall. Is take this path, which is fine, but
I like to take the lower. God damn it, Katy Perry. I like to just stick to the bottom there and do something like this. Top or bottom path, I don't think it matters much. The top path is technically longer, but you're moving at boot speed, so, like, the additional length is not enough that it's really going to affect a whole lot. Nice ledge hop. What was that pause? I know exactly what that pause was. That pause was, oh fuck, I fucked up the room. Whatever. Keep going. So it seems like you're past the stop dying part, and now you need to get to the stop stopping part. If you fuck something up, you just gotta keep going. Those are your dash lines, by the way. Okay, so DMD Slant is a fun little room, and I know exactly why you did what you did, and that is because if you bonk, you lose a shit ton of time, because you go all the way back to the beginning. But you can use your menu here to stop your movement and then dash out of the cave, because when you're here, you're actually going to be on lamp, because the last item that you used was the bomb to bomb jump, and then that's your last bomb. That will take you down to 0 bombs, so it'll automatically put you on lamp. And then you don't menu since then to here. And you need to be on bow for Agate Tower, so that's a good time to do it. Stop yourself from bonking. Yeah, that's all fine. Okay, so I know you're not doing tree rupees, but I think you still want to take this path anyway. So you want to transition your screen there, like near the top. You actually want to nudge off of these bushes, because that will put you high enough that this bird won't bother you. You can just do that. So if you nudge these bushes, that bird's never going to bother you. Okay. Seems like you know what you're doing, you just didn't hit the right pixels, and you just dusted a little bit and adjusted a bit, and yeah. Alright, and then final thing here. Final thing here, you want to be holding upright through here, and then when Link nudges to the right, you want to dash up. Reason being, there's a slight little slope there, and you're literally 1 pixel away from hitting it. Oops. So if you just dash the whole way up here, you're gonna bonk. But if you just go 1 pixel to the right, you'll slide around it. And final thing, you don't need to go up the stairs here. You just do what we call long arms, and waiting for him to. So look at where I'm standing versus look at where you're standing. And then pulling the Master Sword from back here will prevent you from having to walk up before you walk to the right also. So, okay, that took a little longer than I was planning. So I'm just gonna say goodbye, and I'm gonna highlight this so that we can revisit it. I will probably do GT review sometime tomorrow. Depends on what's going on and what I feel like, I guess. Alright. Bye.